Yes. So anyways, brothers and sisters, he was already let us now proceed to our lecture for tonight. Are you all excited? I guess
Yes.
you're all excited. I hope everyone is excited. I know that our lecturer for this evening is also excited. So yeah, he is already introduced kanina by our Kuya Randy Ame. Let me just welcome him again. He's actually one of the most hardworking brothers here in the Philippine headquarters. And yeah, so let us now welcome our lecturer for this evening. It's no other than Brother Herwin Kalinawan. Let's give him a round of applause, brothers and sisters.
Yes, good evening, MC. Good evening, Sir Andy. Good evening, elders, brothers, and sisters.
Hello, good evening.
How are you?
Evening.
Are you excited? Or,
We're good and excited.
yes, I will share my screen. I think so. It would be quite difficult for us lecturers because we should speak English. We have we have an international here, and yeah, and I don't know, but I feel I'm catching my breath. And yeah, I'm not nervous. So anyway, so we are studying the divine principle, and I guess everybody heard the divine principle. We are all members, right? And this is just like a recap for us, and like a revival spirit for us, knowing the divine principle. And it is our privilege. It is my privilege as well, explain to you, share to you about again the divine principle that we are studying. So this lecture is kind of different for me. It's because this is not just one way a lecture, like only we're giving lectures, but only for the lecture, but two way. Should be an interaction between the audience in as lecturers. So you are really free to ask questions right after the lecture. So any questions, uh, and I hope that really hope that we could answer as well. So that's our. I want to emphasize that point as well because sometimes before, based on my experience, so I wanted to ask while listening to some lecturers, I wanted to ask some questions, but I was not able to ask it because sometimes they couldn't finish the lecture in a specific time, and sometimes it's not okay to ask questions. So this time, it's really good if you can ask questions so that all those questions in your mind you can really understand the divine principle. So it's like we are studying together. So I hope we can understand together, right?
Okay.
Aju? Yes, Aju.
True.
Okay. So let me share with you. By the way, my name is Herwin Kalinawan. Let me introduce. My name is Herwin Kalinawan. I am a graduate of IPLC at year 2016. And after the graduation, I went to America for a year, ILPP, so basically fundraising in some sort of activities. And then after that one, I got blessed when I was still in America, 2017, and I got much, and then I was blessed. That's just this year, last February. So I'm grateful that I was able to receive the blessing, and now I'm currently doing my mission here in headquarters as a driver, technical, and just recently giving lecture. So yes, that's all. And So under the Family Federation of World Peace. So I'm gonna share with you the introduction of the divine principle. This divine principle is a universal principle that we were, we we studied many times. We've heard lectured many times, repeated every day. Again, I think every day because we have Hondoke. But let us study more about this universal principle that has been taught by us and deepen understanding of this exposition of the divine principle. So with an introduction, there are seven, ni-research ko talaga kanina. So I searched this earlier. It's supposed to be 7.5, but when I researched it, the like the population of the world, we have 7.8 billion people now. Almost 8 billion. Wow. So many people. And we do different things every day in our life. Out of that 7.8 billion, we are doing different things every day. Basically, our daily routine, yeah, work, anything, missionary works, like that. But we share the earth today with all the people, and we do different things, spending our time doing something. But we shared something in common, and that is to attain happiness. We are all struggling to attain happiness. We are leading our lives every day to obtain joy and happiness. From the commonplace of individual, from even the child, to the major event that is happening in the history, we are doing something in order to attain happiness. And now, what is your motivation? Why you are attending this divine principle? Yes, I've heard earlier that you're attending this divine principle in order for you to revive your spirit. Yes. In order for you to learn more about divine principle. Yes, that's correct. But bottom line, it is to attain happiness. Am I right?
Right?
Yes. Thank you. It is to attain happiness. That's the bottom line of this. It is, but the path to happiness is a question. What is really the path of happiness? Many people are struggling to attain happiness because we were not able to understand what is the real path, the real solution to attain happiness. And that is, some people, like, they have this misfortune. When we do something good, we feel happy. But when we feel something bad, when we do something bad, we feel misfortune, we feel sad. So in our daily life, yeah, we attain happiness, but basically sometimes it's not it's temporary happiness, and later we feel sad, we feel misfortune, because sometimes we do things that is against on our will. But why bakit ganun? So what makes us feel joy and happiness? That is the question. So when it is our desire that when we buy something that we save for, we feel happy, right? When our desire fulfilled, we feel happy. When we receive a gift from someone, from our parents, from our brothers and sisters, we feel happy. When we started to work in a company that we wanted to work for, we feel happy. So we feel happy when our desires will be fulfilled. According to Abraham Maslow, I think some of you knew this humanistic psychology, founder of humanistic psychology, Abraham Maslow, a psychologist. Then he categorizes the desires into 5 stages. Tinatawag niya tong hierarchy of needs. 5 stages. From the bottom, physiological needs, like basic needs, food, shelter, clothes, like then safety, security. The third level, love and belonging for our families. And before, self-esteem, like our desires that fulfill, that helps us to grow, and self-actualization. So he categorized human desires into 5 stages. The people live their lives in order to fulfill the 5 stages of desires. So he said that our level of happiness increases based on the stage of desire we achieve. Physiological, he said that we achieved this kind of thing, but it was not enough. So people are trying to do more. They want to achieve security. They want to achieve love. They want to achieve self-esteem. They want actualization. So from temporary happiness to much greater sense of happiness. This humanistic this psychologist wanted explain to us the hierarchy of this desires, that the bottom line is to make us happy. But in unification principle, in the divine principle that we've studied, our desires to attain happiness, we have these two: the good desires and evil desires. So to attain happiness, we have to dispel the desires that lead us towards evil and pursue goodness. But how? So we when we fulfill our desire, when we do something based on our original mind, and when we feel joy, that's goodness. But when we do something bad, there are some circumstances and leads us to misfortune. So everybody choose to feel like happy, everybody wants to do good, but we acquire wisdom. We require wisdom to do it. So kailangan I wanted to speak Tagalog, but yeah. So we really need this like a formula, like a pattern, that what is that wisdom that we need to do it in order for us to feel happy, in order for us to do the absolute goodness. And this universal, the divine, the universal principle that we've studied provides us with this wisdom. That means this will help us to achieve goodness, and this will help us to feel happy. But within we are like, as what I have said, we are struggling to attain happiness and avoid misfortune. But why? Why is it that if we do something, there's some kind of contradiction within ourself? When I was in so I want to share it later. So we have this what we call original mind and the evil mind. There is a first struggle between two things, and everybody can relate this, because sometimes when let me give you an example. When you basically hondoke, So our mind wanted to like, I have, we have to wake up because it's Hondo already. But our evil mind said that, oh, I feel tired. I want to sleep because I sleep last night very late, so I still need to sleep more. So we have these two minds contradicting within ourselves. And the original mind wanted to do goodness and makes us happy, while the evil mind do the wickedness and leads us to misfortune. So there is always these two minds within individual without exemption. Everyone have this contradiction within themselves. Based on my experience when I was in my hometown, I live in Bohol. My hometown is from in Bohol, and I live in an island, very small island where, yeah, our of course, basically our way of living is fishing. So me and my father went to fishing before um my because I have a class like 7 a.m. when I was in high school that time. So we wake up 2 a.m. in the morning to go to the ocean and do fishing every day. And then my mind is always struggling, but I still have to sleep because I can't, I can't go with you because um, I have class this morning. But yes, my father said we have to go now, and my mother, my mind really wanted like I want to help my family, and my other mind said, oh, you have to sleep, you still have, you have to sleep heroin, you have to sleep heroin. I'm always asking these questions, why and why I have this contradiction. Really, even before we meet the movement, right? Even before we meet the divine principle, we have this contradiction that we were not able to understand. Do you agree? Who among you have experienced this one? Even before meeting the divine principle, even even uh, before meeting the unification movement. I
I
guess
think everyone.
yes, everybody. We have this contradiction, but we were not able to understand why. Who is anybody can explain? I wanted to say like that. I want to ask like that. But nobody can explain why we have this contradiction. Oh, of course, I was like in a Catholic church, and we have this Satan. Oh, they said actually Satan. But why is it that two minds? Why is it that this contradiction? Supposed to be only one. I'm still struggling that time, and I was really grateful when I met the when I met the IPLC because I was directly went to IPLC to study. So I learned the divine principle and I learned this one. Oh, really? So all these questions that in my mind before was being answered. So we have this contradiction. But what happens if there is a contradiction within human beings? If there is a contradiction, there's a state of destruction. That person will going like have this um will will not able to perfect himself or to do something that really feels him happy. So there's a destruction, the destruction of that being with having this contradiction will happen. And in Christianity, since we are Christians, we call this the human fall or the fall. Ito yung tinatawag natin, the fall. So dahil sa contradiction na yun, nagkaroon ng destruction. And that destruction is what we call in Christianity the fall. So because of these two contradictions, the fall happens. Because as what I have said, we cannot able to decide our mind properly. We cannot be able to choose the right thing in our mind because we have this contradiction. And because of this contradiction, the human mind and the human intellect become ignorant. Because of the contradiction, human beings became ignorant. Ignorant, we could not able to comprehend everything, all the things that happen surrounds us. We're not able to understand that one. It's because of this contradiction. So we fell into ignorance. Why is it why is it that we have so many questions in ourselves and we cannot able to understand, cannot able to comprehend? It's because of this contradiction na nangyayari sa sarili natin that we need to solve. We need to solve this in order to achieve happiness. Since ang bottom line talaga natin is to achieve happiness sa lahat ng ginagawa natin. So we have to solve this contradiction within ourselves. We have to solve this ignorance, the result of the contradiction. We have to solve this ignorance that there's a need of understanding of everything. But how? There's always a question, how? And what is that wisdom that can solve this? So in human mind, human beings, people are composed of two aspects: internal mind, internal intellect, the mind, and the external intellect, the body. So we have this internal ignorance, and we have also this external ignorance. So the ignorance of the human of the people is two: the mind and the body. And because of this ignorance within ourselves, we are trying, and human beings trying to solve this ignorance. Everybody, most of us wanted to have this understanding of everything. We are trying to solve this ignorance. And how? So we are searching for truth that can be that we can be able to solve this problem. So to solve the internal ignorance, we are searching for internal truth, and that is true religion. While the external ignorance, searching for external truth, and that is true science. So the goal of religion is to understand and to help us grow and search for internal truth. That is the goal of religion. That is why in different religions we have this meditation, we have this unity between mind and body. In Buddhism, different rituals, and that is to search for internal truth. And how about the science? Science is developing in order to search for external truth. We can, at the beginning, we were not able to understand what's happening in our environment, but now we knew everything. Why the plants grow, why the sun rise and set. It's because of the science and how to live our life comfortably based on the science and technologies that we can be able to search for external truth. So both this religion and science is to search for the truth, internal and external. But there is a problem. Both of them, we believe that both of them are developing. But the problem is they are going in the opposite direction. Going in the opposite direction. That is why the religion is trying to say that science cannot be able to understand and explain everything. Likewise with the science. Science says that we can explain everything what happens around us. Only religion have this um, only through their minds that they have this. They cannot prove everything, but science can prove. So they're conflicting. They are fighting each other. Who's gonna win? And that is the problem. The religion and science were not united. So what is the goal for searching the truth? So the mission, I have shared to you that we have this universal principle that trying to search for internal truth. The mission of the new truth, the search for the new truth, will going to unite the religion and science. It is not to go to the opposite direction, but they should have to go in the same direction. That is the mission of the truth. And if this religion and science united, this will going to make us realize goodness and to achieve happiness. So that the new truth will going to give us a knowledge, an internal knowledge that will solve all our internal ignorance through religion and science. All our external knowledge external ignorance will be solved. And if that religion and science will be united, then in that way we can be able to realize goodness and become happy. That is the mission of the New Truth. It is to unite both religion and science. So the mission of the New Truth is to overcome the two types of ignorance. Because if we cannot be able to solve those ignorance, until now, we are still struggling every day. We cannot directly choose what is the right and wrong. And it is to remove the contradiction within ourselves. And last, to reveal the reality and the heart of God. Oh, heart of God. What is this? So there is some kind of problem between us and God. The reality, who is God, what is the heart of God, and our relationship between God and us. So that is the mission of the New Truth. So it will bring the humanity into a new world where everybody bring people into real happiness, where everybody loving each other. We don't like criticize one another, where everybody understand one another, sharing love. And that's really wonderful. If we have this kind of world, they said that it's really, yeah, in our outside thinking, it's really impossible to achieve this. Yes, even when I was in high school, I drew a lot. I love arts, and I started to have art. Yeah, and then I always wanted most of my drawings wanted to have peace. Very interesting. But when I met the movement, yes, I'm now dealing with peace in reality. This is not just a drawing. I said to myself, this is not just a drawing. This is really possible. And and through this new truth, this wisdom. So it will bring humanity into a new world, and it will unite all the religions, ideologies, and philosophies. And then bring fallen people back to its original state. So this is the mission of the New Truth. Isn't it wonderful?
Yes,
It will. Am I right? Wonderful.
correct.
Have you heard any book? Have you read any book? Please let me know if you read any book that the same with this kind of mission, with the same with this kind of goal. I wanted to read that book. Have you read any book that really solves the problem of all the people? If the Bible is the truth, then why Christians still fighting each other, criticizing each other? Why there are denominations? But why some of the Christians hate other religions? If Quran is the truth, if Buddhism, if all those religions, if the science is the absolute truth, then why is it that human beings feel suffering right now? If you read, if you if you have this, if you read some kind of this kind of goal, please let me know. I want to read that one too. But you know, the mission of the new world, something like new world unity. Is that possible? How could religion and science united can be united? And fallen people back to its original state? What do you mean? Is there something wrong? Yes. And that is the mission of the new world. So aren't you excited? We knew this. Okay, let me speak as you as a member. Remember, we knew the principle a long time ago. But did we fulfill the principle? Did we do it every day in our life? Did we unite our mind and body? Do we have this unity within our family? I know some of you have this misunderstanding misunderstanding with other people. I know one of you. I think one of you. You have this some kind of problem, misunderstanding with your friend, with your family. If you knew the truth, then why can't we unite even within our family? It means that the truth that we are learning right now is not the problem, but the problem is us. Because if we observe, okay, I'm telling this as you as a member. If I will not tell this if you're not new, because we observe that through this divine principle, the teaching of true parents, we have a blessed family. And you can observe their family is really wonderful. Oh my God, I want to, parang gusto ko na mag-start ngayon but I wanted to build that kind of family. Why it happens? It's because of the teaching of true parents, and that is divine principle. We have already the result. We could see the result. But why? What happened in our family? What happened within ourselves? Why can't we do it? It means there's a problem within ourselves. So it is to bring a new world, but it would start within ourselves. It is to unite religions, ideologies, and philosophies, but it will always and always start within ourselves. And bringing our original state start within ourselves. This is just an introduction. But I'm telling this because sa totoo lang, paulit-ulit na eh. This is kind of different. This is different lecture actually. This this is a I'm telling this is a reality that we need to solve, not just studying the divine principle, but it needs to be achieved, and to fulfill. Pagkatapos ng 21 days, we do the same thing. Oh, what's the point? What's the point? Ngayon pa lang, from now on, I'm telling you, I'm sorry, but I'm telling you that we need to change something. And if there's a need to change something, or if walang kailangang baguhin, we need to develop ourselves because of this truth. And I am very grateful. I'm observing the blessed families, and they have this wonderful family, and I wanted to do it, and I really wanted to achieve of peace in the world through our family. Yeah, everything. We have the results already. The result of the divine principle is like this. And I'm always and always eternally grateful to True Father, to our true parents. They are bringing this universal principle that we have for us. Even though we are not worthy, but who are we? But very, very fortunate, because out of the 7.8 billion people who wanted to achieve happiness, we are the one has been chosen to read and to fulfill this kind of truth. Let's give a hand to True Parents, Father. I really miss True Father. Wait, I was not able to change the picture. It's supposed to be like with True Parents, True Mother. Yeah, yeah. Then yes, we should be grateful with True Parents that because of this, the mission of this truth is what we are doing right now. And I hope that it always needs to be achieved. Because Father, True Parents would be very, very happy. We are they would be very proud, to tell you honestly. I'm telling you this. I just I just studied the divine principle lately. To be honest, just like September, no, I mean February. I mean, I started to join the Universal Principle Training Academy with Sir Randy, and everything that I've learned when I started to study the divine principle every day, every night, I think I became like crazy, to be honest. But I really love it. I really love it. I started to search. Oh, what is this? And I read all the books of True Parents. Not for not all, because you can't read all. But you know, at the end I realized, the truth is really can transform us. It's just that me myself, I was not able to determine more to do something great. For the like, I think some of you knew me, knew my past. I'm not that really good, even in an IPLC. Yes, but when I started to study the divine principle, I heard the divine principle many times. But when I started to read this thoroughly, and you know, sabi ko sa sarili ko that why I was not able to do it before. Sana dati pa, and why now? And that is why I wanted to you to experience as well what my experience. Kasi we are working in different diba? We have work, we are doing different things, different missions. may mga ginagawa tayo sa bawat buhay natin. And it's really, really important that we need to study the principle of true parents for us to understand really clearly. And ang bottom line na naman is happiness lang naman, di ba? Ang saya. And I hope that we could achieve happiness. And I hope that we will enjoy this 21 days. From now on, then let's change our mindset. This is a different, I think, for me, just for me lang. We will give you a different kind of set of lectures that let you transform the same as we transform ourselves. Let you realize as well the same what we've realized, the same what I've realized when I studied the divine principle. So I hope you understood that that's just an introduction, but an introduction really wanted to inform you that the principle really makes us happy. Thank you very much.
Let's give a round of applause to Kuya Herwin Kalinawan, brothers and sisters. Am I, nag-feedback ba ako? Hindi.
Hindi naman.
Hindi. That's great.
No.
So thank you so much, Kuya Herwin, for giving that strong and powerful presentation. I really hope that our brothers and sisters who is with us tonight were able to receive the inspiration na gusto mong ibahagi sa bawat isa sa kanila. So, yes, brothers and sisters. Actually, being different, I mean, we are uniquely different sa isa't isa. But that's why we can also receive inspiration in different ways. But of course, the inspiration that we are getting will varies depending also, especially in terms of the principle, depending on our effort. Depending sa effort natin on how are we going to really connect ourselves, connect our minds, connect our hearts to the principle. Kasi like what Kuya Herwin have mentioned, we have already, I mean, maybe to some, hindi, kasi they only have the orientation, just a few background of the divine principle. Pero I think most of us who is here have received the inspiration, and we ourselves have already read the divine principle itself. So it's actually really amazing when we try to read the black book. We receive new inspiration always. That's how amazing the truth is. Na kahit ilang
Ayun, nag-feedback. And then just to supplement din, andyan na pala sila. Okay.
hello? Nag-feedback pa din ba?
Yup.
Yes,
Nagkano pa rin. Masakit sa tenga.
masakit sa tenga.
Habang hinihintay natin si Celine. Okay, so ayun na. Okay na, Celine?
Hello? Am I back?
Ayan, better.
Sorry, brothers and sisters, for that technical problem. Where was I?
Different inspiration, different level of inspiration when we read the Black Book.
Yeah, that's how that's how amazing the truth is, because even though how many times natin basahin, even though how many times we open the black book, that's how unchanging and eternal the truth is actually. So I hope that brothers and sisters, you will also, I know that our lecturers will make effort to really convey the message that our true parents, that our heavenly parents wants to really give to each one of you. But also it is also, we want also to give you an assignment to really make time and make effort to read as well the divine principle, because maybe it's as what have Kuya Randy have mentioned earlier, it's a two-way process. We learn, you learn from us, and we learn from you. Definitely we will be hearing inputs also from each one of you. That is why it is also important to really do your assignment and read the divine principle yourself. Is it okay, brothers and sisters? So yes, I think some of our lecturers here would want to put some, I have to have some additional inputs. How about uh, Ate Relina? You might want to say something from for our no, participants according to the lecture. We cannot hear you, Ate Relina. Yun, nakamute po kayo.
Kailangan ko ba? Parang ano, right now, parang di ako nakapag-ready doon. Di ako mapag-ready doon. Pati pala kami magre-reflect, hindi, biro lang. About introduction of the divine principle. To me, the divine principle is clarification of all the things that of all the knowledge that I have accumulated over the years. Just like the ano, the just like yung science and religion, that they must complement each other, not uh not uh disagree with each other, but they must complement each other, so that together they could make a better world for us. And that's how our true parent have created us. So as I learned the divine principle again and relearn it again, I have learned, especially now I have, and I am very grateful that I have been part um, of the UPTA, and I was invited by Sir Randy to be uh, to be to learn the divine principle more deeper through the UPTA. And actually we have not we don't we I have not expected that we will be um, lecturing the divine principle too soon, actually. Right now, even in this, even in the third batch, we have started, and the first batch of the divine principle, this lecture series has already graduated, and soon the second batch will be graduating, and yet we cannot help but to be overwhelmed again, especially the participants of the third batch. I was really overwhelmed with the participants, and then it's quite a pressure for me, and it seems the same with the other. We have been privately chatting with the lecturers, and it seems it's the same with the other lecturers, that we were overwhelmed with diversity of the participants. And so for me, personally, it's much more easier for us if we lecture to non-members. But seeing members, of course, you know the divine principle, and it's quite a challenge for us to be able to relay the divine principle in ano in a much deeper and much clearer, and that in a more um, practical manner, so that it could really our Sir Randy has been repeatedly telling us that we should be able to, our goal is to transform our the participants to become a better uh, sons and daughters of our true parents, being being the first fruits of the true parents, being the one who have known the true parents, accepted their teachings, and uh, was able to receive and will be receiving the blessing. Especially originally kasi this 21 divine 21 online divine principle lecture series was for uh, matching and blessing candidates, but now it caters all members in all members, even blessed members who wanted to learn and to deepen their understanding of the divine principle. As I said, as I relearn it again and will be learning it again, there are new learnings that I learned, and then and I'm grateful. I'm always grateful because through this I was pressured to learn it so that I can give more I can tawag dito, I can convey the message of our true Father through the revelation, through the, as you know, the divine principle is a revelation, is a revelation from Heavenly Father that was given to our true Father when he was 16 years old, and that it's more to me I think it's more uh, beneficial to me that I am lecturing it, because as I lecture it and I'm trying to study it, I my relationship and my understanding of the divine principle become deeper. And thank you for this, thank you for the opportunity, and we are very grateful that you have enrolled registered in this I wanted to thank you on behalf of the BFD Philippines, the directorate, and then and all the UPTA lecturers, and also our leaders, Philippine national leaders, and also our to our uh, to Reverend Yong, who actually through his direction, this was made into to fruition, and that we are doing this now. And then uh, let us learn together the divine principle and do our responsibility, especially if you are not yet blessed. So as I was saying, please do everything in order for us to receive the blessing. Whatever it is that hinder us, we must must always overcome it, because that is the ultimate reason why our true parents are here. And whatever we do in the past, what and we will be doing in the past, uh, the truth is always there, that we need to be connected to the true parents, and through our it's only through our true parents, it's only through the blessing that we can be reconnected back to our heavenly parent. Yun lang po yung that's all I can say. And to get again, I would like to say welcome to this 21-day lecture series.
Thank you so much, Ate Lilina. So I really would love to call all our lecturers to say something tonight,
Oh, wala na.
but we only have
Naubos
a
na.
few minutes left for this session. So brothers and sisters, actually, as I was reflecting as well, um, parang I try to really connect myself. Bakit ba ako kailangan mag-study ng divine principle? Before, when I was I have learned. I mean, I have known the true parents for quite a time already, since my parents are already blessed. Since my mom is here listening, I am not the most filial daughter on earth, and God knows I haven't been like I haven't been. I mean, my life of faith wasn't as perfect as it should be, even though I have learned the principle for uh, a long time na. So, parang when I try to reflect of what the divine principle is, uh, it's actually when I try to really realize it, the divine principle is the heart of God. If I will try to say it in my own words, it actually is the heart of heavenly parents. Kasi you will yun yung parang storybook ni Heavenly Parent upon creating us, his ideals for humanity, and at the same time his heart when the first ancestors have fallen. Doon mo marirealize, doon natin mas mafe-feel si Heavenly Parent. So parang when doon ko parang hindi kasi later recent lang naman mga later years na mga matanda na ako, hindi na matanda na. Habang tumatanda na ako, yung mga sa peak na ako ng college years ko, saka ko yun na-realize na, ay nako, bakit ba, why is life so difficult? Parang ganon. Is it really ganito? Kahit na I was raised in a blessed family, pero life seems so hard. Why is it like that? And that is because, brothers and sisters, we have our own portion of responsibilities. We have our individual responsibility to connect to heavenly parent. Um it doesn't mean that you are blessed already, or ano na you have to depend on other people. Your faith doesn't should not depend on other people. So that's why when we say that we have to study the divine principle, it is our own portion of responsibility. And we have to really kasi we know Heavenly Parent as a God of parang we see Heavenly Parent as a God of victory, as a God of parang sobrang ano ba, happy God, parang ganon. Most of the people see God as like that. But when we try to really connect to the truth that our lecture is have presented today, Heavenly Parent is not like that. For thousands of years, Heavenly Parent is suffering because He doesn't want humanity to see suffering. He doesn't want His children to see in misery. That's why, when in this 21 days lecture series, brothers and sisters, what we want to let you experience is that how are you going to really connect to that uh, feeling na Heavenly Parents needs you. Heavenly parents love you as much as we are all equally loved by Heavenly Parent, by God. And you have to know His calling, His personal calling to you. So you have to realize that throughout this 21 days lecture series. I know that siguro sabi nga ni Ate Relina, our lecturers are pressured kasi we have a diverse audience now. But let's stick to that goal of really personally connecting to heavenly parent and true parents, because that is what matters. Yun naman yun eh. That is our goal. You have to develop a personal relationship with heavenly parent and true parents through the divine principle, and then you will be able to realize happiness. And then we will all, kasi kahit naman tayo, even though we have kasi we have known the principle for quite a time, but we really haven't fully understood it. Kasi we always fail to apply it to ourselves. So, yeah. That's how that's my reflection, brothers and sisters. So, let's try to really self-evaluation always upon waking up. Kahit naman ako, nag-struggle ako sa pagising. I always struggle to wake up early. I always struggle to like push myself on how am I going to be an effective person, to be a productive person every day. And then at the end of the day, when I try to know, I can only feel I am really repentful every day, because parang when I try to see things and look back at things, I feel like I have done nothing compared to the investments and sacrifices of our true parents. It's really, I have no right to really complain at all. So please, brothers and sisters, I hope that we have 21 days, and that 21 days is really a short time to connect with one another, to reconnect to heavenly parents. That is just a short time. So I hope that after this 21 days, hindi pa tayo patapos, pero nagsisimula, parang feeling ko nagpapatapos na tayo. Parang graduation day na ba to? Parang nag-ending ano na ako ah. Sorry, brothers and sisters. Pero I will always just it's just a reminder, brothers and sisters, of our part, especially if we want to make this program, our journey here in the divine in this lecture series, a productive and a fruitful one. We have to really do our part. So actually, brothers and sisters, every 21 days lecture series program namin, every batch, meron pong pre-exam. Hindi ko na-mention sa inyo kanina. Pero may examination po tayo kapag bago namin i-introduce yung chapter 1 of the Divine Principle. We have this parang prelim ba yan sa college ba? Nakalimutan kang tawag dun eh. So,
Pre-evaluation.
yun. O parang pre-test ba? Ganun, brothers and sisters. So,
Evaluation.
I don't know as to how are we going to conduct it. Kuya Herwin, can you say something about it? I am not so sure about it now. How are we going to conduct it?
I think next meeting before the lecture will start.
All right. So, okay. So, brothers and sisters, next meeting, ano ba yun? Before the so habang pagka 7:30 mag-exam muna sila.
Yes.
Ganun? Okay. Tomorrow, next meeting, we will have an examination before the lecture of chapter 1 will be discussed. So, baka may time kayo mag-review. You have time to pero that is pretty much I'm quite confident na hindi naman siguro tayo mazi-zero, brothers and sisters. Madali lang yung ginawa ni Kuya Herwin eh. So yeah, that evaluation, we just want to evaluate on how much you have really learned the divine principle so far. What is your background? We just want to know that through that examination. So that is for next meeting anyway. So for now, maybe we want to hear one or two reflections from our participants according to the lecture that was presented by Kuya Herwin. So, as to who will be reflecting for tonight, I think you are all excited to be called. Should I assume?
Volunteer ba?
Or yeah, anyone who wants to volunteer, who has that voluntary spirit to reflect about the presentation earlier? No one? Should we volunteer you, brothers and sisters?
So, I think I'll go. I'd like to volunteer myself.
Yeah, let's welcome Kuya Greg's brothers and sisters. Let's give him a round of applause.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. To be honest with you, I am elated. Um, I'm very happy, and I'm actually bowing my head at the beginning of the lecture because of humility and gratitude, meeting the divine principle, and of course, being a unification member up until this time. I met the movement when I was 16, and now I'm half a century old. And honestly, I I'm telling myself, and I also told Mrs. Matbagan, Heidi, that I was frank in telling her that why should I be attending another 21 days? The mere fact that I have been attending so many seminars of the divine principle, but with the lecture that was presented, even though if it's just an introduction, I am very, very elated. I'm overwhelmed because I know that it is something that I was thirsty for the longest time in my spiritual life. And so when the lecture started, um, I felt kind of different, to be honest. So I'll be looking forward on the succeeding days to come. Um, Honestly, I am a lecturer myself, uh, being the head of education department some time ago here in Baguio, as well as in La Union. And so I also use that capability and talent of being a resource speaker of many schools and different parts of the Philippines, to share. However, with that introduction, it's really giving me a reflection or a feedback from the past that now I think it's quite a different approach to really say, really, it's now different. And I'll be looking forward to see more of the lecture of the Divine Principle. Thank you so much for this evening. And see you soon.
Thank you, Kuya Grex. It's a privilege to have you here, actually, Kuya Grex. And we are hoping that maybe one day you'll be part of the team. Yeah. Maybe you'll be part of
Invitation to UPTA.
yeah. We look forward to having you in our education team. Yes, today. So,
Why not?
yay.
Why not?
So, let's
Randy knows me well, and as well as Ate Dulce. So, well,
yes.
cross fingers. We'll cross the bridge when you get there. But
Yeah.
happy to meet you, all of
Yes,
you.
po.
Thank you.
So, thank you so much, Kuya Rex. Thank you. So, anybody who wants to volunteer?
I rather want to volunteer too.
Okay. Let's welcome Mommy Sylvia.
Good evening, Kuya Randy and everyone. Yeah, Ate Celine,
Hello
good
po.
evening.
Good evening po.
Thank
Good
you.
evening.
Yeah,
Ate.
wow. I can feel oozing power, you know. I can feel yeah. I also was like talking to one of the lecturers, and then she was like telling me that you are kind of pressured because there are people like some elders who are listening, like maybe Kuya Grex is like one of those who is one of the lecturers, so it's kind of a pressure, but it's okay. I always believe na yeah, you guys are not just called but chosen, and you have take responsibility. Of course, God can always use us as a channel. So I can see that in Kuya Herwin. Wow, it can really was amazing, really very amazing lecture. And yeah, it reminds us all again, once again, how important and how urgent this time is, how how great there is a need for us to not just practice but unite, um, as so that we can become one body, to really become an instrument in fulfilling God's ideal. Yeah, and then establishing firmly the Holy Community. And it is always a privilege to be, yeah, to be hearing from you guys, from the I should say from the channels of God, through you. Mm. And that's one of the reason why actually I was like thinking I'm supposed to be always listening to the 21 days lecture since it started, but I failed to do, and I feel like repentful because yeah, being having this chance, given the chance to, uh, given the opportunity to sort of help some blessing candidates, I feel really a different thirst to hear more and learn more, even if we read and then we do Hondoke every day. But it's kind of there's a calling that there is a need to more hear directly from, yeah, you people. And I wanted to. I just felt like I cannot give what I do not have. That's why, yeah, I know it's not just mine, but it's God's maybe inspiration that yeah, it is. Though it is very kind of late because I think I'm the oldest among here, but to me it does not really gauge as to how much age you have. Importance is when we felt exactly and understand more the calling of God, I should say, that yeah, in different manner, in different ways, we can really be contributors. So this 21 days, I honestly am looking forward to grasp more power, source of strength, I should say, for me to somehow become maybe a little bit efficient or effective in a job that it's not a job, it's a task, but it's always a pleasure to become like maximize for God's greater good. Uh, that's why I have participated in it. Anyway, I am very much excited to more of the lectures because as I have mentioned earlier, I can see really awesome and oozing power in the lecturers, and then I know that you are not conveying what you just understood in your brains, in your cognitively, but you are conveying your actual experiences and inspirations from heaven. So yeah, as always, I had been thinking that understanding the principle is not just is experiential, I should say. That's why I can see how dynamic this lecture will be. This 21 days will be. And yeah, actually, I feel also like kind of pressured because my daughter is here, and like it's really difficult to give reflections, letting them hear like wow, and then of course, it's more pressure on my part maybe because I know you guys, and you might be thinking that because I'm old, and then that's more pressure on my part. But yeah, I just wanted to. Uh, and I just wanted to look at this as a different kind of growing. Yeah, and I hope all of us will be on the same page in learning and developing and understanding God's heart, situation, and wishes. Yeah, together through these 21 days. I think that's all. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much,
Uh,
Mommy.
Ate Sylvia,
Yes, Kuya Randy.
actually, ano ba yan? Kasi we're thinking with Ate Dulce. We wanted
Mhm.
to, this is just a one, what do you think? Because we're thinking of organizing also 21 days Divine Principle online. Ganito rin na setup with all the coordinators.
Oh, I like that. You
Actually, we've
want me
discussed
to?
that already. We have discussed that already with Ate Dulce, pero hindi pa namin alam. Kaya nung nag-join ka, sabi ko, at least si Ate Sylvia ang makapag-witness kung ano ba yung ginagawa sa 21 days. And if we will be doing it with all coordinators later on, so that we can have a common mind, common direction of how we can really support true parents.
Yeah.
Kasi yun naman yung pinaka-ano natin, di ba, as coordinators, to really support and expand true parents' vision into our region. Kaya yun yung inano namin ni Ate Dulce. Kaya I'm very grateful na nandyan ka na you have joined. So at least you can see ngayon and you will be first-hand. And I hope na you can help us to encourage all other coordinators to also attend to these 21 days. Although our lecturers are very young, but I believe you can learn a lot from them.
Precisely, yeah. It's oozing power. You know, I can see how tremendous. I mean, that's why I had been telling Kuya Randy, I'm sorry to cut you short. I can really feel how true parents is working, how Heavenly Parents is working in you, and I really believe that it's not always, you know, everything happens for a reason. It's always not a coincidence. It so happened. It is God's time now. So it does not really, to me, it does not really matter whoever is the lecturer. I always just believe that that person will always become the channel of Heavenly Parents to inspire people. And you know, one thing pala, may inspiration pala ako, Kuya. Is it okay to talk here? Like we're the one talking already, the only two of us?
Yes,
So that
Kuya.
others can learn from it.
Yeah, actually, one thing that I also realized, Kuya Randy, is just recently I am been thinking a lot that, you know, being the parents already, I just feel there is a big urgency for us to like recall all our members, because as a coordinator, I've been seeing a lot of, maybe this is much of my shortcomings, and I feel so moved, and I feel so like it's really painful, maybe because, yeah, I wanted to look at it because it's my shortcomings. There is a call. I think it's just, I just believe like that this way. Now there is a need for us to recall all our family members, especially parents who are already having blessing matching candidates children, because we seem to be there is, it's just that I feel there is such a big huge need of it, but I know that it would be a huge burden of the BFD. That's why I'm also grateful that there are lecturers here that I am seeing. I don't exactly know mga elders na nadya nakita na ko. I'm so happy because I know it's just, but really, just like I said, it's an urgent time for us to really, really unite strongly towards the direction of fulfilling God's will. And it could not be done by only few, but it has to be everyone. And then when we say everyone, when we are all destined to fulfill tribal messiahship, we cannot fulfill it without understanding it, without recalling, refreshing what we used to be inspired of. And that's why I am supposed to tell Ate Dulce earlier, but I hold back because I was like hesitant because I just tell you now in front of everybody, like my Ate Dulce might say, "What is this woman saying?" And then like I'm supposed to suggest now because I just feel so many of our brothers and sisters elders, like just like me, maybe very very craving of God's heart, but we cannot understand fully, just like our young and dynamic lecturer Kuya Herwin has been saying. Yeah, it's just crazy. It's like you just become crazy, and it's not bad to become crazy for heavenly parents. Oh yeah. Then I think we have to recall all those, because I know this is but urgent time for us to really, while our true mother is still here, yeah, we need to really work harder, yeah, together. And it cannot be done by only few people. Yeah, I just believe it like that. And I'm sorry that I say this to you. I'm not giving any direction, but this is just an inspiration, and I hope you are going to consider not only among coordinators, but core members, elder brothers and sisters. There are lots of them who are very qualified to be of help in the front line, and it's very necessary. As far as I had seen pa. Wow, amazing! And then, yeah, the time is so urgent, and yet murag ka na bang binisaya, sorry sa mga di kabalo, daghan kay anihunon pero walay mga ngani. So, it's so I'm not burdened myself, but it's just that I felt so much pain that in as much as I wanted to help or we wanted to help, we cannot help enough because we are only few. So I think it's a parang big time recall to everybody that I don't know how are you gonna consider it, but I just feel it that way. Yeah. Sorry,
Actually,
Kuya Randy.
we have already a plan natin.
Thank
We have
you.
already a plan for that. Ngayon pa lang, we are just creating the workforce dito sa national. And then we will
Okay.
be setting up regional and even provincial.
Thank you,
We have
Kuya.
already that plan. Actually, that's part of our, Celine, di ba, 7-year plan?
Oh,
Yeah,
amazing.
that's part of our 7-year plan in BFD. That's why, kaya nga, I immediately push these young people to be into this crucial burning moment na
Yes.
kahit na hindi pa sila ready to give lecture, but I exposed them
No, we are ready.
because
Don't worry.
I really wanted to really go into regional setup, and also they will be the one to assist me in setting up regional lecturers and regional trainers. Kaya the second batch of UPTA is coming October 30. That will be the dyan na magkakaroon ng pwede na ma hawakan nila ang next batches, and then this first batch will be assisting me in regional setting of lecturers for BFD education. Kasi we have seen yeah, we really needed to let all people know the principle because God wanted all people to go back to His bosom.
Precisely.
Kaya alam ko
True.
nakikinig si Kuya Grex eh. Kaya
I can see, I can hear.
and
Yeah.
yeah, really kaya
Amazing.
we are really pushing na sana maraming mag-join ng second batch and even third batch ng UPTA kasi yun yung avenue to really let's start all over again to re-study.
I will
Kaya
help though also, yeah. I will help. Don't worry.
sige po, thank you very much ate. And
I
we
will
can
encourage our
really
elder brothers and sisters too. Is it okay even if we have not? It's okay?
ang UPTA po is for anybody who wanted to become God's mouthpiece. Ang
Yeah.
qualification lang po is meron silang heart to share God's heart.
Yes.
And
Yeah, I
we
will be
speak in behalf of God.
definitely be
Yun yung
inspiring more.
So yun yung ano namin. Kaya nga for ang ano namin doon is more on sa UPTA is more on studying the principle together and discussing. We are not debating but more on positive discussion of how we can really unlock kung ano yung message ni Father in every words na nasa Divine Principle. Kaya ngayon, ilang months na sila pero chapter 1 pa rin pinag-uusapan po namin. Hanggang
It's okay.
it's really because what we are focusing more is understanding the root principle, the blueprint. Yun yung pinaka kaya even 1 year puro chapter 1 pinag-uusapan namin and experience na lang nila yung sa other chapters through the lecturing. And then pagdating ng Saturday yun ulit pag-uusapan namin. So that's how we study in UPTA po. We are not more on lecturing but more on kumbaga receiving God's inspiration and also understanding God's heart and true parents' heart. So yun po.
Thank you so much.
Anyway, thank you very much ate for that affirmation kasi iniisip namin ni Ato Dulce how we can really let our coordinators na invite them to join the 21 days and most of them are already old members and merong mga hesitant na sigurado maraming hesitant na magsabi na I already done that, I already have this. But to tell you honestly, it's really quite different this time.
Yeah,
I can
know.
also testify that.
Pasintabi po sa mga nakikinig. Sorry talaga kasi kami natuloy nagsasalita dalawa ni Kuya Randy. Pareho lang kasi kami. Mas matanda lang kasi ako kaya yon. Pasensya na.
Thank you so much, Ma.
Yeah, thank you,
Kuya.
Ate.
Thank you po, Kuya Greg. So, brothers and sisters, it doesn't just apply to all our elders here. This is the discussion is actually just a reminder for everybody that there's a lot more. We are in a limited number right now, And I know, maybe siguro sa isip natin, konti lang tayo. But definitely, I know God works naman definitely in each one of us. Definitely, God will work. And also, but ang iniisip ko, we don't have to really limit ourselves, especially that we are capable of limitless things if we will only try to discover our potentials. Yay! Char. So, yeah.
Unless the potentials.
Sleepless.
Yeah.
Sleepless, di ba?
So, yes, brothers and sisters, there's 7.8 billion people waiting for us out there.
Yeah.
That's why we have to continuously really renew our determination every day. We have to renew our determination. Hindi na renew kasi pababa tayo na pababa, but we have to level up always. Especially in terms of our relationship with Heavenly Parent and True Parents. Especially now that we are living in a very significant time. And when we try, let us look at True Parents, let us look at True Mother. She's really old now. And we don't have much time left. If we will think of True Mother's age, we don't really have much time left. And there's a lot of people yet need to be educated. That is why we have to think, we have to really reflect what can we contribute. But of course, first, let us try to before we contribute something, i-educate muna natin yung sarili natin. Try natin mag connect din, kasi gusto mo we want to connect other people to Heavenly Parent and True Parents, but we fail to connect ourselves to Heavenly Parents. So it's not gonna work that way, brothers and sisters. We have to God, no one should be left behind, sabi nga ni True Mother, sabi nga ni Heavenly Parents. So it is inspiring. It is an inspiring night, brothers and sisters. It is an inspiring first night to be with you all. And but you know what? I have to warn you, brothers and sisters. The 21 days seem to be very short, but there's a lot of challenges. It will be a challenging journey because I know uh, along the 21 days, based on experience, a lot of there will be a lot of conflicts that will be ano, we will be facing a lot of conflicts. Maybe not us, I mean among us, but maybe sa schedules natin, or maybe yung inspiration natin, the inspiration that we feel today is different from the inspiration that we will be feeling the next lecture. So please, let's before joining the session, every session, prepare your hearts to really receive God's message, God's love to you, towards you. So yes, kasi the 21 days, Satan is just around the corner waiting for us to, to fail anytime, to laugh at us. Satan is just there, like parang siguro iniisip niya, inspired ka ngayong gabi, paano kaya bukas? Tingnan natin mamaya nga, mamaya. Inspired ka nga ba talaga? So, at the end of this 21 days, we hope that the inspiration that you have gotten today, will be more than the 20 at the end of this journey. Hopefully, that is much, much more than that. Much, much more than today. Okay? So let's do our homework, brothers and sisters. And we are very happy. Again, we officially would love to welcome you all in our 21 days lecture series. So, yeah. I hope that you're also ready to, sometimes especially sometimes some lectures are really lengthy. Medyo mahaba. Minsan yung mga lectures. So, sana, I know, may mga pagod tayo, aantukin tayo along the way, gugutumin tayo along the way. Pero, sana lagi yung heart natin at yung ears natin at yung willingness natin to really understand and learn will always be constant. Ganun. So, prepare lang natin minsan kasi minsan nagiging 10:30 na tayo natatapos. So, brothers and sisters, it's already 10 p.m. It's actually 10:07 at my time here. So, let us now end our session. We will be sending reflection forms. I mean, we will be sending you reflection links kasi our lecturers and Ate Dulce will constantly read your written reflections. That's why please don't forget to submit your reflections. Okay?
The national leader will.
Yeah, also, may inaantok na. Wait lang po, ate. Matatapos na tayo. Wait lang. Our Sir LA, our national leader, will also be reading your written reflections. That's why we really we highly encourage each one of you to submit your reflections. Okay? So thank you so much, brothers and sisters. And let us now close our session for this evening through a prayer. Um, Kuya Julius, are you available? Will you please close the meeting tonight? Kuya Julius. Ito ba si Kuya Julius? Wala? Ha?
Nasa likod.
So, for our closing prayer, sino ba mag-close ng prayer? Kuya Randy.
Sige. Please join me in prayer. Our most beloved Heavenly Parents, victors true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind, we are so grateful and thankful for this opportunity that you have gathered us together to understand your precious words, precious guidance, and most especially the principle that you have given to our true parents. And I pray, Father, that as we study this together and as we learn from it together, it's not only learning by the book, but like what true Father always say, the book is not the principle, but it is the way of life that we have after we understand, and then after we study the principle, the transformation within us. That's the real principle that true parents have given to us. So, Father in heaven, with these 21 days, I pray, Father, that I know it's not enough. The 21 days is not enough, but this is just the beginning wherein we could be connected to you once again, and we could rediscover our internal, uh, our deeper connection unto you and experience your love deeply, so that we could also become the capable individual who could help, most especially in spreading your words and sharing your heart and sharing your love to our brothers and sisters. Thank you, Father, and our sincere and our utmost sincerity is not enough. But the most important is how much we really encourage and most especially influence others to follow the same path as what we have followed, following true parents, so that we could start a new beginning of making this world be connected unto you and be claimed by you, and not to be forever under Satan. Thank you, Father. May you please accept all of these things as we offer and report this in your name, Randy and Ria, my blessed family. Jude.
Ju. So, brothers and sisters, thank you so much for staying, for being with us tonight. Remember that Heavenly Parent and True Parents love you. And yeah, stay safe, stay healthy, and see you the next meeting.
See you on Wednesday.
See you next one, this coming Wednesday. Thank you. Good night,
Thank you.
brothers and sisters.
Good night,
Thank
everybody.
Bye.
Thank you,
everybody.
thank you,
so
thank you, thank
much.
you.
See ya.
Night, Kuya Grex.
And healthy.
Healthcare.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you.